You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Black and white sports fans, let's talk about the NAACP. And you may be wondering, why in the world are we talking about the NAACP on a sports channel? Pretty much, the same reason why we actually had to talk about PETA and these other things, because these organizations are trying to influence sports with their politics. And I don't like it, guys. I really, really do not like it. But however, the NAACP has a problem with Texas. They're coming after Texas because of the recent laws and legislation that has been passed the past several months. They do not like it. So the NAACP is now asking professional athletes not to sign with any Texas teams. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I live out here in the Houston area here, and the Houston area is pretty popular with professional athletes. There is a lot of athletes that actually live in the Houston area. Many of them actually live in Sugar Land, and they live in Texas because the weather's pretty good. Taxes, there's no state taxes in Texas. The cost of living is really, really good. Unlike the People's Republic of California, it's great. It really is. But the NAACP is triggered. We're going to go over that, guys. So let's go ahead. Let's jump over here to ESPN here. NAACP calls on athletes not to sign with Texas teams due to recent legislation. The NAACP sent a letter to the players' associations in 5 professional sports Thursday asking players to reconsider signing with teams in Texas because of recent laws passed in the state. A 2-page letter signed by NAACP President and CEO Derek Johnson that was sent to the MLB, NBA, NFL, NHL, and WNBA Players Associations. The organization pointed to recent laws on abortions, voting rights, and mask mandates during the coronavirus pandemic as reasons to avoid joining teams in Texas. Quote, if you are considering signing in Texas, I ask you to ensure that owners are upholding their responsibility of protecting you, the athlete, and your family, the letter states. I ask you to use your influence to help protect the constitutional rights of each individual at risk. In May, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed an abortion law that bans procedures after 6 weeks of pregnancy. In September, Abbott signed a bill that significantly tightened voting laws. Earlier in the month, Abbott also issued an executive order that banned vaccine requirements in Texas. Quote, over the past few months, legislators in Texas have passed archaic policies disguised as laws that directly violate privacy rights and a woman's freedom to choose, restrict access to free and fair elections for Black and brown voters, here we go, and increase the risk of contracting coronavirus, the letter says. The 5 leads mentioned by the NAACP in the letter include 9 Texas teams, the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers in MLB, the Houston Rockets, Dallas Mavericks, and San Antonio Spurs in the NBA, the Houston Texans and Dallas Cowboys in the NFL, the Dallas Stars in the NHL, and the Dallas Wings in the WNBA. Wow. So where do I even begin with this, folks? This is utterly ridiculous here. See, in Texas, and I'm a lifelong Texan, folks, we have a lot of freedoms here. We're not like California. You notice that that the NAACP is not clamping down on California or New York, who actually has vaccine mandates, and you don't have the choice to choose over there whether or not to get the jab. And who is most likely not wanting the jab? That'll be Black people. And Black people are rebelling against mandates. But here you have the NAACP coming down on Texas when in Texas it's your choice. Greg Abbott and the state government in Texas says it's up to you whether or not you want to get the jab. We are completely free here. Now, jumping on the abortion train here, they bring that up. Wow, the NAACP is perfectly okay with the murder of babies in the womb. Unbelievable. You cannot take this organization serious. You cannot. This is utterly ridiculous. And when it comes, to the voting thing, actually, you know what, guys? We have expanded early voting here in Texas. All you need to do is show an ID. That is it. If you want to mail in ballot or whatever, you can do that too. You just have to show an ID. There is nothing restrictive about this if you are a citizen of Texas. But we know where the loyalties of the NAACP lie. They are ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. I have no respect for this whatsoever because, it seems like they love authoritarians. They love big government coming down on you. And I don't believe that any athletes are actually going to be listening to this, ladies and gentlemen, because right here in Houston area, you got so many athletes here. Like I said before, nobody likes paying extra taxes. There is no state tax here in Texas. That's why so many athletes live in Texas, live in Houston during the off season, no matter where they're at. I mean, who wants to pay the ridiculous taxes that are in New York State or in California? Now, check this out. If you actually play like for the New York Giants or whatever, New York State, they have state taxes. It's pretty expensive also to live in New York. That's why a lot of these people, they live across the water in New Jersey. I believe also that's the reason why the New York Giants and Jets, they don't even play in the state of New York. They play in New Jersey. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, the NAACP weighing in, trying to push their ridiculous politics on athletes, telling them and lying about Texas laws, saying that they're restrictive or whatever. This is probably the best state to actually live in right now, along with Florida. But they don't like that. Apparently, the NAACP loves socialism. They love authoritarians. Completely insane. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.